Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, welcome to the podcast, and welcome to our discussion today. First of all, let's say Happy New Year 2025, 2025. I hope you had a great 2024, and I hope that you are looking forward to this great year 2025. That's going to be great with a lot of blessings, a lot of lessons, and more importantly, let's make sure that we raise our value to the marketplace. And I'm NJ, an author, speaker, creator, and I would like to apologize first and foremost because this has been a long time coming. Y'all have been asking for video series and video content of the books that I've written, up and coming books. You have seen me on the podcast, the video podcast, but you haven't seen me on video talking about the concepts and the work that I've been doing when it comes to writing books and the knowledge that I have to share there. And I'm going to be giving you exclusive content on the talks that I give, the coaching sessions that I give, based on the books that I've written. And I look forward to sharing this with you. And hopefully you will enjoy this. Well, not hopefully, I know for a fact that you will. So today I want to talk about change your I ams. Change your I am. So first and foremost, I am the author of 2 books, Inspired Success, 5 Keys to Reach Greater Heights of Achievement. And my second book is You Are a Business, Treat Yourself Like One, the 5 business essentials for personal transformation and building a better future. So the genesis of me writing this book was I had the question where I was asking myself, why is it that some people earn more than others when it seems like they're doing less and they're becoming more? So let's rewind to about 2014. I was starting off my career as a project management and business analysis consultant. And there was this project that we were assigned to accomplish. It was a oil and gas company, and we were there to do some strategic analysis for them. And they paid us hundreds of thousands of rands for just 6 weeks worth of work. So we came up with the thesis, we came up with the recommendations to say, if you implement this type of technology, your revenue is going to go up by X%. If you do this marketing campaign, your reach is going to go by X%. And then we were lauded, we were applauded. And I will remember it to this day. After we left, I went to a McDonald's, I got myself a burger, and then I said to myself, I'm like, I feel unfulfilled and I feel uninspired, and I feel like I've just robbed somebody here, because here we were paid hundreds of thousands of rands for 6 weeks worth of work. And I realized that I looked at my life and the senior consultant's life that I was working with, that our lives were not displaying the business principles that we said that they should be following. And if I was the MD and I found out that my life was not reflecting of the business principles that I was telling them to use, then I would not be happy. Then we fast forward a couple of months later, and then we go to promotions and bonus time, because we all love promotion and bonus time. It's the best time in the world. And then I realized that I did not get the promotion that I wanted, and I was beside myself. And I got a bonus, but it was a very measly bonus. I was like, what can I do with this? I can't turn up with this, right? Then I went and I had a conversation with my father. I also had a conversation with my brother, and I was complaining, I was moaning, and I was just blaming everybody else for the negative realities except for myself. And then once they had listened to me crying, complaining, and say, it's the company's fault, it's the government's fault, it's the person who didn't want to lend me money that one time, it's their fault, and it's that auntie of mine who's guilty of black magic, it's that person's fault. Hey, I know you've done it. I know you've done it. Everybody's blamed someone on black magic somewhere, somehow. And then I remember the story of Jim Rohn, where he had a similar experience where he complained about the company that he was in, that he was not being paid a lot of money. And his mentor said to him, that's not the amount of money that they pay. That's the amount of money that they pay you. There is always someone in the business and in where you work that is getting paid more than you are being paid because they're doing something differently. And my father and my brother gave me exactly the same thing. They say, they're doing something different than you are. Stop with your excuses. Go out and do something about it. So I started to think, how is it that I can start using business principles to improve my own life? And then I started putting this book together, and basically I came up to realize that the most successful people, the most entrepreneurial people, the highest performers in any levels of any organization, they do not see themselves as employees. They don't see themselves as employees. They always see themselves as self-employed. They always see themselves as the business. Regardless of where it is that they get their money from or who pays them, they see themselves as a business. Because if you see yourself as a business, you adopt a higher level of responsibility. So I wrote this book, put it together, and then I tested the models that I put here together. And there was a time in 2018 whereby I put this to the test, and then I doubled my salary. Let me tell you about that. That was nice. I doubled my salary. And so what I realized is that in the field of project leadership, project management, it's a very, very tough industry, especially from an IT perspective. If you are not as skilled as possible, and if you're not up to date with the certifications and education, then you are going to stay behind. So I asked myself, how is it that I can raise my value to the marketplace? And I signed up for what they call the gold standard of project management certifications, which is called the PMP, the hardest exam I've ever written in my life. But it was well worth it. So I put in the money, I put in the time, got the certification, did the classes, and then when I passed, I kid you not, the marketplace responded. I was headhunted, and all of a sudden, they offered to double my salary. And you know exactly what I did. Come on, you know exactly what I did. I turned that offer down. No, I'm kidding. No. I took the money and I ran with it. And all because I learned to increase my value to the marketplace. And the very first part in the series that I'm going to start here today, based off this wonderful book, is for me to tell you to change your I ams. You need to change your I ams. Human beings have got this visceral need to identify and to live up to what they identify with. If you identify as a poor performer, then guess what? You're going to perform poorly. If you identify as a victim, then guess what? You're going to have a victim's mentality. Like, for example, we're in 2025, we're in 2023, and everybody's got New Year's resolutions, right? You know your top 3 resolutions. I know you have them. I know you have them. I know you have them. Top 3 resolutions. Number 1, make more money. Everybody wants more money, and that's all that we want, right? The second is you need to hit the gym. You need to lose some weight, gain some weight, become buff, whatever the case is. And then thirdly, you need to cut off the toxic people. You have to cut off the toxic people, change your boyfriend, change your girlfriend, get some new cousins in your life. You know what it means. You know what it is. You need to get some new family members. You can't throw away family members, by the way, just so that you know about that. We all have these new resolutions, right? We all have these new resolutions. But here's the thing. You can make all these resolutions until the cows come home. However, if you don't change your identity, then your behavior is not going to change. For example, if you say that I want to stop drinking coffee, for example, I want to stop drinking coffee, but then you keep on identifying and keep on saying, I'm a coffee drinker, this is what I do. I'm a coffee drinker, this is what I do. I'm a coffee drinker, this is what I do. Then guess what? 4 to 5 weeks from now, you're going to be back drinking coffee because that is your reference point. That is what your identity is. That's who you are, right? However, if you start changing your identity to say, I'm not a coffee drinker, I am a runner, then you're going to start doing things that runners do. For example, if you set yourself a resolution to run a marathon, don't say that you want to run a marathon. Start changing your identity to say, I am a runner. Because if you identify and say that you are a runner, you're going to start doing the things that the runners do. You're going to do the exercises, you're going to be doing the diet, and you're going to be hanging around and consuming content that is concomitant with your new identity. So you need to change your identity. So when it comes to change viewing yourself as a business, viewing yourself as your own enterprise, don't say, I am an employee. Don't say, I am an employee. Because if you say that you are an employee, you are going to behave like an employee. And predominantly, employees do not have a high level of responsibility. It's always the employer's responsibility to do the performance management, get them the opportunities and do the training and do the classes. And if the employee doesn't treat them the way that they're supposed to be treated, then they start losing their minds, right? Generally speaking. But rather change your identity to say, I am a business that offers legal services, accounting services, sound engineering services, painting services, music services, whatever the case is, maybe. Because if you change your identity to say that you are the business, then you view all the people that you work with as your customers. Your boss is going to be your customer. The people around you are going to be your customer. And you are going to have the mindset to say, if I'm going to get paid and if I'm going to raise my value to the marketplace, I need to provide as much value to them as much as possible. So there's nothing wrong with being an employee. I want you to hear me. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being an employee. However, there is something wrong with you having a limited vision of yourself. There's nothing wrong with being an employee, but there's something wrong with having a limited vision of yourself. If you see yourself as your own brand, as your own business, then you're going to inherently adopt more responsibility for yourself. Let's take an example, right? One of the greatest rappers of all time, since time began up until now, the greatest rapper of all time, whose name is not Eminem, is Jay-Z, Sean Carter. All right, fine. You can disagree with me if you want to. My own opinion is that Eminem's the GOAT. But if you say that Jay-Z's the GOAT, no one's going to fight you there, you know? So he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. He is one of the greatest enterprises of all time. He's one of the greatest businessmen of all time. Because think about it this way. You can have a normal rapper who just identifies to say, I am a rapper, right? That's what their identity is. I am a rapper. They will just a little rap, help compose the beats. They will put out the songs, partner with a few people. However, their salary and their influence is going to be limited and it's going to be capped. Then you have a different beast that has a different identity. They will rap, they will produce, they will start their own company. They will recruit other rappers, recruit other producers. They will invest in other enterprises, brand themselves as a business. And that is how, to my knowledge, stand to be corrected, Jay-Z was the first billionaire rapper in history. The very first billionaire rapper in history. And you know what he said? I'm not a businessman. I am a businessman. Let me handle my business. Dang. And that is why he's got this empire state of mind, because he does not just see himself as just a rapper. He sees himself as a business. So that is what I wanted to leave with you today. Don't see yourself as just an employee. Nothing wrong with it being an employee. But if you want to raise your value, if you want to become better, if you want to change the world more, you need to change your identity. And you need to say to yourself, I am a business that provides whatever service to the marketplace, because you will inherently adopt a higher level of responsibility for yourself. I hope you enjoyed that. You will join me next when we talk about more principles from this book. You are a business, treat yourself like one. You can get it on Takealot, you can get it on Amazon. We'll leave you some links. And if you want to book me to speak, you can get my email. If you want me to be on your show, on your podcast, we can do that too. But I also want to tell you that my personal mantra is this. If you see me on the podcast, you've heard me say this. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means you're going after what you've always wanted to go after, because it's aligned with your highest values. And that is the only way that you can live a truly fulfilled, inspired, and successful life. And we will see you on the next episode.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I'm going to show you how great I am.